subscribe, and drift with us. The boat barely moves. You are lying down, or you are settling in, finding the right place, letting the weight of the day begin to release from your shoulders, your arms, the long muscles along your back. Breathe in slowly, through the nose. Feel the air come in warm and a little green. Warm because the evening is warm. Green because the water and the palms are everywhere around you. Hold it gently. Just a pause. And let it go. Let your jaw unclench. Let the space between your eyebrows smooth itself out. Let your hands uncurl. If they have been curling, open them gently and let them rest. Breathe in and out. The boat drifts. It has been drifting for some time already, long enough that the rhythm of it has become part of you without you noticing, the way a lullaby works. A slow, gentle rocking. Not urgent. Not going anywhere in a hurry. You are here now. That is the only thing to know. Whatever was waiting for you today, it is finished, or it will keep until morning. Either way, it is not on this boat. This boat holds only you and the evening and the soft sound the water makes against the wooden hull, a low, continuous shhhh, barely a sound, more of a feeling. The sound of something very old and very unhurried. Let your shoulders fall. Further than you think they want to go. Further still. There. Let your legs sink into whatever they are resting on. Heavy. The good heaviness of a day lived and done. Breathe in. And out. The air here is different from anywhere else you have been today. Heavy and sweet with things growing. Something green. Something floral. Something that belongs to water that has been still all afternoon. The palms on either bank carry the last of the evening warmth in their fronds. You can smell the earth beneath them, damp and rich. Your chest rises and falls. You are not trying to sleep. Sleep is not something you try. It is something that comes when you have stopped reaching for it, and you are very close to that now, very close to the place where the thinking loosens and the water becomes the only sound that matters. In and out. The boat carries you. You do not need to steer it or guide it or decide anything about where it goes. You only need to be here, inside it, while the Kerala evening does what it does, darkens slowly, softly, without hurry, filling up with cricket sound and starlight and the smell of jasmine just beginning to open. Only here. The Kerala backwaters are quiet at this hour. The sun has not fully set, but it is low enough that the sky has turned the color of warm embers, amber at the horizon, then rose, then a deep and deepening blue overhead. The water beneath you holds all of it. Every color lives twice here, once in the sky and once in the still black surface of the canal. You are on a Kedavalam, a small one, wooden, built the old way, its roof low and thatched with woven coconut palm. The roof comes low over the sides, giving the boat the look of something that has grown rather than been made. Inside, the space is simple, a cot on one side, a low bench, a ledge where someone has set a glass of water. Outside, the canal. Outside, the evening. The boat has no engine. It makes almost no sound. A long bamboo pole trails behind you in the water, and at the stern, a figure moves it slowly, a lean man, barefooted, reading the canal by some sense that does not require him to look. He has been on these waters all his life. He knows this canal the way you know your own name. He does not speak. He does not need to. For things you notice. First, the water's surface. It is almost entirely still. The canal is narrow here, narrow enough that it is sheltered from any breeze, and the evening has turned it to glass. Your reflection floats beneath you, wavering only very slightly with each push of the pole. There are lotus leaves spread flat on the surface, dark green rounds, pressing down like open hands, and among them a few pale pink flowers, half closed now, drawing in for the night. Second, the sound of the hull. A low, continuous shhh as the wooden boards move through the water. Not loud, not going anywhere quickly. Just the soft speech of something that has done this for a very long time. The sound is felt as much as heard through the boards beneath you, through the whole boat, a vibration so gentle it is almost breathing. Third, the lantern at the bow. Someone has lit it, a small brass one, hanging from an iron hook. Its glass is amber and the flame inside is very small and very steady. It casts a warm circle on the water ahead of you, and when the boat drifts, the light moves with it, a small, reliable sun, showing you the few feet of water directly ahead. No more than that. No more is needed. Fourth, the birds settling. You can hear them somewhere deep in the palms on either bank, calls and replies, and then longer and longer pauses between. A pair of kingfishers crosses the canal ahead, a flash of electric blue and burnt orange, impossibly bright for an instant, and lands without sound in the low branches. They sit. They do not move. Their feathers hold the last warm light for a moment, and then the light changes, and they are just shapes in the leaves. The bank on the right carries a scatter of small houses. Mud-walled, tile-roofed, their windows beginning to show yellow light. From one of them comes the sound of a radio, too distant to make out. From another, the smell of something cooking, spiced and warm, ghee and something green, the smell of an evening kitchen reaching across the water. The canal widens for a moment. The palms part. A wider section of sky opens above you, a great bowl of evening, the first stars appearing at its edge. Not many yet. Just the brightest, early, certain. You breathe in. The air is heavy with the day's warmth, releasing now as the sun goes. There is jasmine somewhere. You can smell it clearly, a sweetness that doesn't push, that simply arrives and stays. The palms carry it. The water carries it. The boatman at the stern shifts his weight. The pole finds the bottom and pushes gently. The boat moves. You have nowhere to be. This canal does not end anywhere that matters. It simply turns and turns again and winds through the low green country toward where the backwaters open into something larger, but slowly. Only slowly. With all of the evening ahead of it. You are part of that movement now. Only here. The canal begins to narrow again. The palms press closer on either side until their fronds overlap above you, a long, dark green tunnel of them, with only a thin channel of sky remaining at the center. The roots reach into the water, pale and long, disappearing into the black below. The lantern at the bow seems brighter now that the light around it has dimmed. Its circle on the water is sharper. The lily pads inside that circle appear very green. Something about the pace of a canal like this slows you down from the inside. You cannot hurry here. The water will not allow it. The narrowness of it, the way it bends without warning, the low branches that require the boatman to lean, all of it says, slower. Slower than that. Slower than you think you need to be. You let your breathing match the boat. In. The pole finds the bottom. Out. The water speaks against the hull. A frog calls from the bank a low, steady note. Another answers it from farther away. And then a third and a fourth, until the air on both sides of the canal is carrying their chorus, unhurried, assured, a sound that has happened here every evening for longer than anyone alive can remember. You pass a small wooden dock, barely a dock, just a few planks extending from the bank, a canoe tied to them, its hull low in the water, its bottom already dark with the night. The canoe is still. It has been still for hours, probably. It will be still again in the morning. On the bank above the dock, a banyan tree. Very old. Its aerial roots have come down in such number that the trunk has become a cluster, a small forest of itself. In the last of the daylight, you can see it clearly, its leaves dark and rounded, motionless now that the breeze has stopped. Something sits in the branches. A bird. It does not move as you pass. The canal turns left, then right. The boatman navigates both turns without pausing, the pole lifting and finding the new position without searching. He knows exactly where the canal is deepest, where the bottom shelves up, where the roots come closest to the surface. This is knowledge that lives in the body, not the mind. Water hyacinth clusters along the quieter stretches, rosette-shaped plants floating free, their roots trailing. They smell of the canal itself, something sweet and slightly dark, the smell of still water in a warm climate, the smell of things living slowly and in great numbers just beneath the surface. Your eyes trace the water ahead of the lantern, the circle of light, and beyond it the dark. Occasionally something moves in the dark, a fish rising, perhaps a small disturbance that closes immediately. Or just the canal breathing. Just the night moving in the way that still things move when they are not, in fact, entirely still. The canal opens slightly. A moment of wider sky, a strip of deep blue overhead with 2 stars visible steady. You breathe. You have been watching without deciding to watch. Your eyes have been moving across the water, the banks, the roots, the sky, not looking for anything, not tracking anything, just receiving. This is a different kind of attention from the kind the day required. It costs nothing. It gives everything back. The boatman does not speak. He has not spoken once this evening. His silence is not unfriendly. It is the silence of someone who understands that the canal speaks for itself if you give it time. You give it time. In and out. The channel releases you into something wider. Not a river, but an open lagoon, or the beginning of one, a place where several canals meet and the palms step back and the sky opens overhead in all its evening depth. The houseboat drifts out of the green shade and into open water, and for a moment you see the whole bowl of it, the western edge still coral and amber, the zenith already indigo, and the first true spread of stars appearing across the upper dark. A crescent moon has risen while you were in the canal. You didn't see it come up. But here it is, thin as something cut with care, hanging to the south, its light too faint to cast a shadow, but enough to silver the surface of the lagoon in a line directly toward you. You lie back and look at it. From somewhere across the water, the far bank, which is perhaps 200 meters away, a woman is singing. Her voice is low. The distance takes the words away and leaves only the shape of the sound, a long rise and fall, a melody that has no urgency in it, that is not going anywhere, that is simply being sung the way the frogs simply sing and the crickets simply sing. She is singing to the evening, perhaps, or to no one, or to herself. Her voice crosses the water and reaches you softly, mixed in with the cricket sound, which has been building since the light failed, a vast, steady presence in the air on both sides, filling the silence the way water fills a vessel, without gaps, without effort, without end. The crickets. You attend to them fully for a moment. They are not many sounds. They are one sound, an enormous one, a sound the whole evening is made of. Close your eyes and there is nothing else. And then, the water. And then, the lantern's small tick as the flame shifts. And then, the singing barely. The boatman has stopped poling. In open water, there is nothing to push against. The lagoon is deeper here. The pole would not reach the bottom. He has taken up a short oar instead, and he uses it almost without disturbing the surface. The boat drifts more than it is driven. A slow rotation, barely noticeable, as the current, if there is a current here, if this can be called a current, this smallest of movements in the still water, turns you gently. You watch the moon, then the stars. You cannot name most of them. This does not matter. They are there in their numbers, which is the thing that matters, and they are the same stars that were there the last time someone drifted across this lagoon at evening, whenever that was, and the same ones that will be there the next time. They do not change on the scale of a human life. That is one of the more useful things about them. A small boat appears from the right, a narrow wooden one. A local man with fishing nets. He does not look up as he passes. His nets are spread at the surface, their floats bobbing in a lazy arc. He moves among them with the same unhurried certainty as the boatman. This is the hour for this, and so this is what is happening. You watch until the fishing boat is small with distance. Then the fireflies begin. At first, just one, a cold light in the tall grass of the far bank, blinking on and blinking off. Then 2, 3, 10. By the time you have counted to 20, you have stopped counting. They drift among the grass and a little above it, blinking at intervals so irregular they seem random, though they are not random. They are speaking to each other in a frequency that is simply too slow for you to read. The boat carries you toward the near bank again, where a stand of old palms rises. The fireflies are there too lower, among the fronds, brief and cold. You breathe in. The night air is cooler now over the open water. Not cold. Just the cool that comes when the sun has been down long enough for the earth to begin releasing the day's warmth slowly, evening by evening, the way a stone loses heat. The boatman finds the next canal's entrance. A dark gap in the bank, palm-lined, the lantern circle showing the way in. The boat enters. The stars go behind the palms. The crickets continue. The new canal is darker than the last. The palms here are older, taller, their fronds wider, and they meet overhead with less sky between them. The lantern at the bow is all the light there is. Its circle on the water is very clear, very present, the lotus pads inside it bright, the dark water beyond it absolute. From somewhere ahead, the sound of a church bell. One stroke, then quiet. Then one more. It is not close. The sound has traveled across the water for some distance before reaching you, and it has lost its edges in the traveling round and soft when it arrives, more felt than heard. The canal rounds a bend and a small village appears on the right bank. Not a village, exactly, a cluster. 4 or 5 houses mud-walled, their roofs tiled in the old Caraway, steeply pitched. Every house has a light in at least one window, small yellow rectangles in the dark bank. A dog somewhere among them makes a sound and then stops. A child's voice briefly, then quiet. One of the windows has a woman standing in it, or the shape of one, backlit, looking out at the water. She watches the boat pass. You are far enough from shore that her features are invisible. You are a lantern to her, probably a moving point of light on the dark canal. She watches. The boat moves. She is gone behind the palms. The bank between houses is planted with things you cannot name in the dark. Low dense shrubs, a few papaya trees with their pale trunks, banana plants with their wide leaves folded in the night air. One garden reaches almost to the water, a short slope of earth, soft and dark, and at its base the canal, and in the canal your reflection passing. A coconut falls somewhere on the right bank. A heavy soft sound, then nothing. The canal narrows further. The boatman does not slow. He has done this before. He knows exactly where the channel runs, exactly how much clearance remains on either side. The palms press close enough that an extended hand could brush the fronds. You keep your hands in. The smell changes here. Green and earthy and something sweeter, a flowering plant on the bank, white blooms barely visible in the lantern's outer light. You pass close enough to smell it clearly. Something like jasmine, but heavier. A night-blooming thing that saves itself for this hour. Then, the heron. It is standing at the canal's edge, in a place where the bank is low and the water is shallow. Its gray form is pale against the dark bank, tall and absolutely still. Long neck folded. One yellow eye that catches the lantern and holds it for a moment. It does not move as the boat passes. It has decided that this hour is the hour for stillness. You are not the first thing to pass it this evening. You will not be the last. It registers you and lets you go without changing anything about itself. You pass. The canal turns again and the palms open on the left, a gap in the bank where the land has been cleared or perhaps flooded, and you can see a stretch of paddy field extending away into the dark, flat, silver pale in the moonlight, the stubble of old rice pressing up through shallow standing water. The horizon is very far away. There is nothing between you and it except the flat country and the dark blue sky above it and the stars. It is very large. Not a frightening kind of large. A releasing kind. The kind of scale that the body relaxes into because there is nothing to defend against and nothing to hold. Your eyes rest on the far distance. Then the palms close again on the left and the paddy field is gone and the canal is enclosed once more. Darker. Quieter. The lantern casting its amber circle ahead. You breathe. The sounds are fewer now. The frogs still. The crickets still. They will be there all night. You understand this now. They are as reliable as the water itself. But the birds are fully settled. The singing from across the lagoon is gone, or you are too far to hear it. The village is behind you. It is later than it was. The canal here has the feel of somewhere more private. The palms are dense and old, their trunks black in the lantern light, their roots deep in the bank and deeper in the water. The surface is unbroken. Not even a ripple from anything living. Just the hull's passage and the slow closing of the water behind you. Your body is heavy. Not an unpleasant heaviness. The kind that comes after a long day held well, a day in which you were present for what was asked of you and now you are released. Your legs have released their tension without you noticing when. Your arms, wherever they are resting, have uncurled and stilled. Your breath has found a slower rhythm. You are not controlling it anymore, not directing it. It is simply happening, which is what it does when you stop asking anything of it. The boatman is quiet at the stern. He has been quiet all evening. His breathing is the breathing of someone who has been on a boat so many evenings that the boat has simply become an extension of his body. There is no boundary between the man and the canal, between the movement of the pole and the movement of the water. He is the boat almost. The boat is the evening. You are part of all of it. A small fish jumps from the canal surface somewhere ahead, a brief silver arc in the lantern light, then gone. The circle of ripples spreads outward and reaches the banks and disappears. The canal turns. Another canal. Another set of palms. But you have stopped distinguishing them, or you have started to notice that distinguishing them is unnecessary. All the canals are this canal. All the evenings here are this evening. The palms and the water and the lantern and the dark have become one continuous place, and you are at rest inside it. Your eyes are heavy. The lantern at the bow, very small, very still. The flame barely moves. The water, the palms, the stars, when they are visible, between the fronds. Breathe in and out. The houseboat finds a place to be still. Not a dock. Just a place where the canal widens slightly into a quiet inlet where a palm tree leans over the water at an angle and its trunk is close enough to reach. The boatman ties the bow to it with a length of rope, once around the trunk, knotted without hurry, without sound. He sits back down in the stern. He does not say goodnight. He sets his oar across his knees and closes his eyes. The boat is still. Fully still, for the first time all evening. No movement from the pole, no drift of the current. The water holds it the way a hand holds something it cares for gently, without gripping, simply present around it. The inlet is very quiet. The palms are very close. Their fronds hang down almost to the water on one side, and through them you can see fragments of sky, the crescent moon, small and perfect, its light catching the canal in a broken silver line. There is a cot inside the houseboat. You have been aware of it for some time. Low and narrow, covered with a cotton sheet that has been washed many times until it is very soft. A small pillow. The cot is positioned close to the lattice sidewall, woven wood, open in a diamond pattern, so the air from the canal comes through freely and the sound of the water comes through and the smell of the night comes through. You are on the cot now, or you have been for some time. You are not certain when the sitting became the lying. It does not matter. The lantern at the bow has dimmed. Its flame is still there, a small warm point, not going out, just very quiet, just present. The way a companion is present without needing to do anything. Through the lattice, water. Dark and still, holding the crescent moon in its surface, barely moving. Through the lattice, palms. Their fronds barely stir. Through the lattice, the stars. The crickets. Still there. They will be there all night. That is the thing you understand now, fully. The crickets will be there all night. They were there before you arrived, and they will be there after the lantern goes out and after the moon sets, and they will be there in the morning. They hold the dark. They have always held it. Your head is on the pillow. The sheet is cool and soft. The boat makes one small sound, the rope against the palm, a single quiet creak, and then goes still again. The heron, somewhere nearby. Its silence. Its patience. The jasmine you passed. It smells still in the air, faint now, the memory of it more than the thing itself. The water. Breathe in and out. The lantern. The stars. You are here. Asterisk. Sentences spaced 12 to 20 seconds apart. Music rises very gently. Callbacks to arrival anchors. Asterisk. The water. The lantern at the bow. Very small. Very still. The water holding the moon. The palms. The sound of the hull. Nothing left to do. Only this. The crickets. Still there. Always there. The lantern. The lotus leaves. The crescent moon. You're here. Only here. The water. The lantern. Sleep.